Hello everybody, Bogdan here and welcome back to the Import-Export Hub channel. So guys, without making lengthy intros in which I'm asking your support by pushing the like and the subscribe buttons, let's dive directly into the subject here. And as the title suggested, in this episode I'm going to cover 5 products that from my personal point of view are worth considering exporting towards Poland if, I don't know, you're an exporter or a manufacturer, or if you're a Polish importer to import into Poland. So basically the first chapter that I think it's worth taking into consideration is 9503, so broadly speaking toys, in which we include also tricycles, pedal cars, plastic toys, and so on. And we see here that for 2020, the total imports, were close to $1.3 billion, confirming an upward trend, at least from 2016 onwards, with a year-on-year positive relative change of 15%. Now, in terms of the biggest trading partners, we see China, Germany, and the Czech Republic, but we have also Hungary, Italy, Slovenia, or France, just limiting myself at these top 10 partners. In terms of cumulative share, these top 10 partners make up for roughly 92%, which is very concentrated, with China alone accounting for more than 42%. As for the year-on-year changes, except with the United Kingdom, Italy, and France, who all experienced negative changes, with the rest of the trading partners, we have positive changes with quite big absolute and relative values, especially with Germany, Hungary, the Netherlands, and Denmark. As for the main drivers, we have here 2 examples, and we have plastic toys driving most of Hungary's exports towards Poland, and construction sets, so basically I think Lego sets, driving Denmark's exports towards Poland from this chapter. Anyways, with this being said, I will move on to my second product recommendation, which is basically chapter 0802. So nuts, fresh or dried, whether or not shelled or peeled. And we see here again some big figures, and for 2020, Poland's imports accounted for more or less $164 million, with the United States being the biggest partner, followed by Italy, and we see here Germany on the 3rd place. In terms of cumulative share, these top 10 partners make up for roughly 93%, which is again very concentrated if you ask me. As for the year-on-year changes and the main drivers, except Turkey, all the other partners experienced positive changes, with Ukraine having some 790% increase compared with what happened in 2019. But here, I think that as in the case with Turkey or Iran, the volatility is quite high, meaning that most probably we are speaking about monoproduct imports, which are very price sensitive. Anyways, coming back to the table here, I've added a couple of examples driving Poland's imports from the United States and Iran. And we see that for the United States, fresh or dried almonds shelled are driving most of US exports towards Poland. As for Iran, fresh or dried pistachios in shell is the main driver. And with this being covered, I will move on to my third recommendation, which is dried apricots, prunes, apples, peaches, and so on. So we are speaking about HS code 0813. And we see that in 2020, the total imports for Poland accounted for more than $64 million, which is almost 9% more comparing with the figures from 2019, with Chile being the main trading partner, followed by Germany, and we have on the 3rd place Turkey. Again, we see a very high import concentration for these top 10 partners, we have here roughly 93%, and some high year-on-year relative changes in relation with Chile, France, China, and the Republic of Moldova. As for the main drivers, both for Chile and the Republic of Moldova, the main driver is dried prunes, so HS code 81320. And with this being covered, I don't think I have anything else to add here, and I will move on to my fourth product recommendation, which is copper waste and scrap. And we see that in 2020 compared to 2019, the total imports were up 28%, bringing the total imported value at more than $591 million, with Germany, the United States, and the Czech Republic representing the main trading partners. And here it's interesting to see how the United States became Poland's second most important trading partner for this chapter in, we see here, only in 2 years. As for 2016, 2017, and 2018, the imports were practically zero. So maybe here we have, I don't know, a long-term contract between a company from Poland and a company from the United States. I don't know, I'm guessing. But anyways, coming back to the sheet here, we have we see that in terms of import concentration, again, the imports from these top 10 partners are highly concentrated with more than 82%. Speaking about the year-on-year changes, except with the Netherlands, with the rest of the trading partners, again, limiting myself to these top 10 ones, we have positive changes. And before moving on to my fifth and last product recommendation, we see that HS code 740400 is driving most of Poland's imports, both from Romania and Latvia. And with this being said, I will move on to my last recommendation, which is second-hand or used vehicles, whatever you want to call them. And here I've splitted Poland imports in two. One for the imports of used vehicles between 1,500 and 3,000 cubic centimeters, so smaller engines, and one for the imports of used vehicles above 3,000 cubic centimeters. So basically we're speaking about big engines here. And basically we see that Poland's imports accounted for roughly 84 million euros, which translates into, I don't know, $100 million. So it's quite an important sector in Poland, if you ask me. As for the split, I will start with the smaller engine cars, and we see that the majority are imported from the European Union, more than 75%, while the sourcing countries, if you want, outside the European Union are Japan and the United States. Unfortunately, both experiencing declines in 2020 compared with 2019. As for the line here, in which we have countries and territories not specified within the framework of trade with third countries, well, I can't tell you exactly who are those countries. For sure, they are not European member countries, but because of commercial reasons or in order to protect their sourcing locations, some importers, especially the big ones, are requesting to the customs authorities, in this case to the Polish customs authorities, not to disclose the importing countries in the official and the public statistics. But anyways, what strikes me here are the imports from Lithuania, who practically jumped 70 times comparing with the figures from 2019. And I am really curious about what happened here. And by the way, guys, if somebody works in the industry or I don't know, has some information available, I will highly appreciate if you share it with me. I don't know, just for personal curiosity if you want, But anyways, moving on to the big engine imports, we see that these accounted for more or less 35 million euros, sorry. So we are speaking about more or less $43 million. Again, the European Union member states representing most of Poland's trading partners, while the United States, Canada, Japan, Mexico, and South Korea are the main trading partners outside the European Union trade bloc. And here, in terms of year-on-year changes, we see a lot of negative values, especially with the countries outside the European Union. As for the spike here with Italy, yeah, the imports rose 13 times more, but in absolute terms, the values are quite negligible. So I'm not asking myself what is the cause of this spike. So anyways, guys, with this being said, my time is up. Thank you all for watching. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe buttons. And as usual, until next time, keep your business safe. Thanks.